This is part 2 of our 2-part series on mindfulness.
Let's talk about what intuition really is.
Let's look at all the places intuition and ego show up in your life.
Let's share honestly.
Let's do the research.
I'm Jamie Hayhurst.
I'm Heather Wood.
This is the Intuitive Girl's Guide.
This episode will play uninterrupted after a brief message from our sponsors.
You know what goes great with podcast listening?
A great cup of coffee from a great coffee shop. Restoration Coffee. Can we go?
Yeah, check them out and visit restoration-coffee.com.
Hey Jay,
Hey.
we're back with more mindfulness.
In my pink sweater.
The same shirts. Because it's the same day that we're recording it.
It's the same hour. Same minutes.
I think
Haven't moved
5
from this
minutes
chair.
went by. Yeah. How's that for mindful, everybody?
Super present.
So present. So this will shock you, Jamie.
I doubt it.
I looked up so many tips and read so many articles about mindfulness online, like how to be more mindful.
Mm-hmm.
And I literally hated every single one. Like I couldn't deal. I hated them all. So I made my own.
Okay. Yep.
And I decided to share them with you today.
Perfect.
Okay. So that's what we're going to go through
Mm-hmm.
right now. Okay. When I was looking, I felt like all the tips for mindfulness were basically tips for meditating.
Yes.
And I can't quite understand why
Because
those two things are woven.
those two are synonymous. Like that's what people think of when someone says mindfulness.
Yeah.
I think American people, especially like American women, maybe white women, could even narrow it down to that.
Huh.
You think of meditating. It's like if you say I'm going to a mindfulness class, I think you're going
To meditate.
to a meditation class.
Right.
That's what I would assume if someone, not you, but if someone told me, oh, I'm going to a mindfulness class, I would think they're going to a yoga studio. They're going to meditate. They're going to talk about being present, quieting the mind, all things like that. Like I think they have become synonymous in this culture.
Yeah.
And that's what I was saying at the beginning of the last episode is that like, I don't think mindfulness means now what it is supposed to mean or what it originally meant. It's been one of those co-opted terms. That's 100%. What I mean about that.
I 100% agree. I think it's interesting because I think that meditation is an incredible tool to practice so that you can be more mindful.
Exactly.
Yes, agree.
Right.
So I understand.
No, but people think that the mindfulness happens in the meditation.
Yes.
It doesn't go outside of the meditation.
Yes, but that's sort of like the broken record thing that I think we always do, which is saying like, if you're using your intuition in these like non-glamorous moments in the everyday and you're paying attention to how you feel and you're like, if you're doing that all the time with sort of everyday things, when you go to do something a little bit more extraordinary, you have the tools. Right. You can't just gain the tools. Like, yes, I think it's so cool. Go to a class to learn how to talk to dead grandma. I love that shit.
Definitely.
I've taken the classes. I've taught the classes. Like, I get it. But like, if you go in with that expectation and you're not doing the other stuff, that's so hard. It's like deciding to run a marathon and never practicing running before.
Exactly. Yes,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's fine. You can do that. There are some people who will do it and they'll beat everybody who practiced for a long time. And there will be some people, like my husband, there will be some people who are more like me and they tried really hard to train for a 5K, but they're freaking can't do it. Like I can run fast for a really short amount of time. I can't keep running.
No,
don't have it. But it doesn't make any sense.
No,
it bothers me, and I think it's important because I do think meditating. And again, we've said this many times. Meditating is not just sitting quietly. Maybe that works for you, but like you can meditate when you drive. You can meditate in the shower. You can
walking meditations, guided meditations.
I love a guided meditation.
Same.
Even if it's just like a little bit of guidance and then there's space and then there's guidance at the end. To me, that's the perfect balance of a meditation.
Agreed.
Find what works for you. So I do think that that's probably the most powerful tool in your toolbox. If you want to be like, oh, I'm having trouble, working through this stuff. But the tool is not mindfulness. The tool is a tool to be mindful.
Right.
Like Do you know what I mean?
Yes. But it's like what we always say about it. The tool is not just in this moment. You're having this moment because you think you're supposed to have this crazy intuitive download where you're meditating and a feather drops down from the sky and you have this really intense moment. And I get the feeling of
I've had those moments. They happen rarely.
Yeah, but I get wanting to have them.
Yeah.
I'm not shitting on those. I get that.
Sure.
But what I'm saying is, what the real point is that what you're gaining in those moments is the benefits that happen to your mind and your body and your intuition and your ego, all the things that you're getting from those moments that you're then training your system.
Yeah.
All of those things I just mentioned. You're training your system.
Yeah.
For when you need them in real life.
Exactly.
In everyday occurrences, when you're frustrated in the line at the grocery store, or your boss is being a pain in the ass, or whatever the problem is, is that you then know how to pull in that mindfulness.
To manage yourself so you can be. Yes, exactly.
And the beauty is that, like, even if you are just meditating for that feather moment, you are going to absorb the benefits, right? Like you're still strengthening that skill.
Yes.
So that when you need it, you're going to be like, oh, I was a lot calmer in that situation than I thought I was going to be.
100%.
Right? You'd be like, oh, it's probably all that meditation I've been doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's, if you go into the meditation and like, oh, it's not about this moment right now. Yes, it is. Obviously, that's the point of mindfulness, is being present.
Right.
But you're also skill building.
Yes. It reminds me of when people will be like, I tried to meditate, but I just spent the whole time like getting a thought and then coming back from it, getting a thought and coming back from it. So I failed
at it.
And I'm like, no,
you're doing
that's the exact thing. That's meditation.
Exactly.
Is having something and like redirecting.
Exactly.
You actually just crushed it.
Exactly.
It's just that you had the wrong expectation for it.
Exactly.
But so this reminds me of that same thing where it's like meditation is a lot of different things. That word probably needs to be redefined as well. I'm not going to do it in this episode because we don't have time for me to define everything for you. But
and it's all personal anyways. Like it's different for everybody anyway. So there's no point in defining it. But you define it. You do it.
Exactly. For you.
Yes,
you decide
you
what you think
yourself.
it means.
Right.
Yes. But also do like a little research.
Yes.
You know, just a little. It's real easy to like Google shit. You don't even have to use AI.
Don't use, Yeah.
Okay. I won't have you go off on a tangent. But I could. But anyways, like it's really just so important to understand that meditation and mindfulness are two different things. And meditation is a fantastic tool for mindfulness, but it's not the only one.
Yes.
But it is a fantastic one. And a lot of the things that, you would apply to trying to be quote unquote better at meditating. I don't really think you could be better, but have a better experience meditating, maybe is a better way to put it.
Yeah. Or build some skills around meditating.
Yeah. Would be the same you would be applying to mindfulness. So
yes.
I understand, but I do think it's important to continue to split hairs.
Yeah, there's definitely someone listening who wants to write a comment right now that thinks that we're splitting hairs and we're like obsessing about it. But it really is important to understand, because the nuance of that can be applied to all the different things that you can do to practice mindfulness.
Yes.
You could take all the things we just said about like splitting meditation and mindfulness. You could say the same thing about splitting journaling and mindfulness.
Exactly.
Right? Like it's important.
Yes.
The nuance matters.
Yes. And it's important to reiterate something that you said before. It's important to understand that your experience every time of using a tool to be more mindful is not like a measure of how mindful you are.
Right.
Because you will have these moments where let's use meditation. You meditate and you do like a really good job. Like meaning you have the outcome you wanted. Maybe the outcome was to just concentrate on one thing, or to get an intuitive download, or to work on an idea and have a little mental space for it, or whatever that's supposed to look like. And you do it for the 10 minutes or whatever, or hour. I don't know how people do that, but some people do. And at the end of it, you're like, I feel good about how that went.
Yeah.
But more often, you're going to have experiences where you were distracted, or you heard your phone buzzing, or you started worrying about something, or you just couldn't quite create the space in the way that you wanted with the desired outcome.
Right.
But the fact that you tried is the thing that in those moments you were talking about where you need to adjust and you need to have that like a little bit of space to observe yourself.
Mm-hmm.
When you get to those moments, you're still going to be better at it than if you had the shitty outcome or the great outcome,
Right.
because it's the working on it
Exactly.
that does it for you.
Exactly.
And the point is not to be the most quieted mind in yoga class. The point is that as you navigate your life,
Mm-hmm.
your experience of what you're going through is better.
Right.
It's more of what you want.
And maybe that's not what your brain needs. Like maybe your brain, like, you know what I mean? If you have defined meditation as a completely quieted mind, you can do that quote unquote perfectly for days or weeks or months. And then the one time you can't quiet your brain, you're now going to consider that a failure.
Right.
But maybe that's not what your body needed.
Right.
Maybe your body's dysregulated and it needs to process. It needs to go through things. Maybe it could be a myriad of things.
100%.
But if you have this definition of like perfection, then it's going to throw you off course at some point.
I experience the sort of, it's not just something that happens to autistic people. It happens to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But I experience like a inner shutdown when I'm overstimulated. And it looks like grumpiness. Okay.
That definitely doesn't just happen to autistic people.
No, but
yes,
it does.
Yeah.
And I think it's something that when you, whatever neurodiversity, which I'm pretty sure there's no such thing as neurotypicalness. I know. You'll be mad at me. You can write in about it. It's fine. I don't think that's real. Anyways, I think it's just like an ability to conform or not.
Yeah, that's a really big conversation though.
Yeah, I'm just going to drop it and walk
Yeah,
by
we'll
it.
see what happens.
Okay. But if I am like, let me meditate, and I decide that I'm going to light a candle and have music and have it dark or just lighting over it. If I start getting too into all that stimuli and then I go and sit down to do it and I have caused I've tipped into the shutdown, because I probably also, if we're honest, needed to clean, because if there was clutter, my brain would read all these things as to-dos. So I've probably done too much and then I go to do it. I might experience a shutdown.
Yep.
And what that shutdown is going to look like is me being mad. I'm sitting trying to meditate, just like
pissed.
Mad. And I'm not mad at anything. I'm just
grumpy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the thing is, like, to the outside world or to a 10-step program, I probably checked off all the boxes. I did all the things I was supposed to, but I wasn't being intuitive. I wasn't paying attention to my own needs. I was trying to do something that I thought was the right thing on a checklist.
Yeah, and you might even look like you're being successful because you're quiet and you're sulking and you're grumpy.
Yes.
And so you might look like you're meditating well, but it's not doing for your body what you need.
It's the opposite of mindfulness. But
Right.
instead, if I'm like, oh, I think I just need to go give myself 10 minutes and just close my eyes, and maybe I'll nod off, maybe I'll meditate. Like, if I recognize in the moment that that's actually what I need, and I stop doing all the things and I do it, that is mindfulness.
Yes, exactly. That's
You know what I
very
mean?
mindful.
Right.
That's very mindful.
Forcing it to look like you think it's supposed to look is not mindful.
Correct.
Being overstimulated and then trying to do something is not going to work. But even there's been times when I've been coming down from feeling anxious. And you know when like your body, you start to feel better, so you're like, I'm all set.
Yes.
But you're not.
Right.
Okay. So I'll be in that state and I'll be like, the right thing to do is meditate. And I'll go try to like give myself a couple minutes. And then all of a sudden the anxiety is like, here I am.
Right, exactly.
Being mindful is going, this is not the right time, and walking away.
Correct.
Not forcing myself to try to meditate through
digging
that.
your heels in.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
So again, I know I'm like really pushing this point, but when you go research mindfulness articles, they're going to tell you to do those things.
They are. Absolutely.
In my opinion, that's incorrect.
I agree.
Okay. So let's talk about what is correct.
Okay.
Okay. The place I think you should start is to listen to your ego, which I think people might be surprised that I say.
I agree.
But your intuition has already told you that it wants you to be more mindful.
Yep.
So we're already there. Now you have to listen to your ego, and you got to go, what's my resistance? What am I, if I think about mindfulness, journaling, meditating, whatever tool, do you want to strengthen that skill? what is my resistance? What does my ego say won't go well about it?
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that, maybe writing it down or putting it in your notes, having an understanding of it is so crucial.
Agreed.
Because then you can address those things.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can figure out how you personally need mindfulness. Like,
Exactly.
what is your mindfulness practice?
Exactly.
That's the only way you're going to figure it out.
Agreed.
So I figured I would tell you my list, and then you could tell me yours.
Okay.
So my resistance list, the very first thing that comes up is I will be interrupted. So reason number one not to like do one of these things. Someone will interrupt me.
That's true.
That's the first thing that comes up. And if you would like to cut to like a little spoiler of the theme of all of these, it's control.
Shocker.
Okay.
Yes.
I've set the goal. I'm going to go do this for 10 minutes. I'm going to journal. I'm going to meditate. I'm just going to close my eyes, whatever.
Right.
Someone's going to interrupt me.
Mm-hmm.
Is going to be the first thing. And I like literally might not do it if there's a possibility of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same.
All right. My second one is a sensory issue will distract me. So that could be clothing. That's probably the most common. Do I have hard pants on? Do I have a bra on? Do I have a clip in my hair? Do I like all of these things? Is my hair down and could be possibly touching my face? Like all of these things will interrupt my process.
Right.
So I will think, well, then I won't do them.
Okay.
Where the real thing to do with both of these, the first one, interruption, would be how do I ask everyone for a little space so that I won't be interrupted? Leave my phone in a different room, whatever. Okay. Is this a time where I feel like I could do that?
Yep.
Okay. The second one, how can I make sure a sensory issue, or like maybe not make sure, but like do everything I can to not have a sensory issue? Am I wearing soft clothing? Did I take my bra off? Did I take my hair elastic out? Do I have earrings in? Things that will start to like pull my brain away. So instead of not doing it, you go,
just
I need to build this.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. It won't work out how I want it to, / I won't have the desired outcome from the meditation that I want. That would probably be the strongest one. Are you hearing all the control in this? But meaning like, I want to like meditate on this idea so I can write about it. And so like I'll sit and I'll think my form of meditation about it, and I won't get there. I'll keep thinking of something else and I'll get distracted. So I'm like, what's the point?
Right.
But we both know what the point is.
Yes, exactly.
Not that.
No.
Okay. I'll get too relaxed and then lose my motivation to do the other things I need to in the day. That's never happened, but my brain is pretty sure.
Really?
That if I dial it down a notch, we won't continue.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'll hyperfixate on whatever comes up intuitively.
You might.
Probably I will.
Yeah.
I'll struggle to pick when to do it. So I'll spend most of the time being like, I'll do it later. That would be better. Or earlier would be better. That's why I plan things out. Because otherwise my brain will spiral into all the possibilities of the best.
Yeah.
Okay. So we pre-plan. We wear as much comfort in our clothing for sensory issues as we can. We make sure the room is not too bright. We make sure the room is not too dark. Either one is not enough. There's not loud noises. Someone's not leaf blowing down the street. Like we just make sure. We make sure we can ask for space. Hey, can I have 10 minutes without anyone coming up here? Like all of these things. That is going to create it. But if I don't listen to that, I'm going to get into doing it.
Be too distracted.
And then all those things are going to come
Unravels.
Okay, what's your list?
So most of mine revolve, obviously, like, yes, around control, but a lot of it revolves around my ADHD. So the very first thing is my demand avoidance. So if I feel like someone is suggesting something that I try or do, or even if I feel like, that might be a good idea, my demand avoidance is going to like immediately be like, don't tell me what to do.
Can you explain demand avoidance to people? Because I think people imagine that it's just like a rebelliousness.
No.
But I want you to explain it, because I think it's really interesting, because of the two of us, you are more likely to be the rule follower and I am more likely to be mad that someone told me what to do. But when it comes to demand avoidance, I don't have that at all. And you have a lot of it. And so my point being, I think people just think it's like a personality trait, but it's something that happens in your brain.
No, yeah. So everything, I mean, with ADHD, the chemicals have to be right.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if an idea or a demand or an ask, it doesn't have to be, it's not demand. My brain reads it as a demand, but it's really just a suggestion, a mere suggestion from someone else. If it's not producing the right chemicals, it's not hitting the right chords, so to speak, my brain is instantly like, no, I don't have a motivation to do that.
I feel like that is so closely connected to how people describe claircognizance, right? Like it's as if your claircognizance didn't generate a thing.
Right, or
and someone
knows it's not right. My claircognizance knows
it doesn't align. Right, yeah, exactly. But I think people almost hear demand avoidance and they think like you don't want to do what the person said.
I think for many years people thought I was, or some people, not many, I think some people in my life thought I was very bratty.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because I wouldn't do things or I resisted doing things. And sometimes, you know, if I'm in a safe space, I will be like bratty, say like with my husband, I'll be like, I'm not doing that. Nope. Yeah. Nope.
Well, we've joked before that I'm like careful of telling you to watch a TV show, especially if it's a popular one. If it's not one anyone's ever heard of, it's a documentary on like an unheard of channel. She's in.
Yes.
There's no convincing. But if it's like a popular show that everyone's watched, like Severance was why it was like played my card to force me to watch it.
Yeah.
But like
because there's a lot of work with that. Like socially, there's a lot of work that as a person with ADHD, I don't know if I can create the chemicals to perform for you.
But also,
you know,
it's
like they're talking about it. Like we're watching it and then you want me to talk to you about it and you want me to love it as much as you love it and you want me to think about it as much as you think about it. And if I don't feel like I'm definitely going to do that, then I'm not going to commit to that.
Right, because you're not just avoiding the demand of watching it.
No.
It's all the other things
all the
that
expectations that I know line up behind it, that I've learned the hard way, line up behind that, and that I then have to meet for you.
Yes. And you can't just enjoy watching a show. You now have to watch it from this other place of like performing your views of it to somebody else.
Right, exactly. This like socialization of like TV and media and stuff.
But something I think that is important is that you aren't, if I say you should watch this very popular TV show, your demand avoidance is not like quote unquote bratty to me.
No.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like that's that's what people think, that you're like, I'm not watching a show you want me to watch. It has nothing to do with me.
No.
Literally. No. And there's not a lot of expectation I'm going to put on you socially to tell me about it. But like, it's a thing that in your brain, now there's all these other sort of executive functioning tasks that are attached to this. When am I going to do it? When am I going to talk about it? What do I have to say? That create the avoidance because it's sort of like a commitment to a lot of work that's not natural for your brain.
Exactly. And that's what I was going to say about the mindfulness is that when I'm deciding if I want to do something like that, it's, do I actually want to do this, or do I feel the pressure of someone else wanting me to do it, or someone else saying it's going to work when I probably know it's really probably not going to work?
Yes.
But then it's also that commitment issue, which I think a lot of ADHD people are labeled as commitment phobes.
Yeah.
Probably rightfully so sometimes, but like I think one of my like very valid, honest reactions when I think about, is this journaling program going to work for me, is not just, do I want to do this right now? Is this going to feel good in this moment? Is this going to help me right now? It's, I might feel good writing this all out right now, but I'm not doing that in a week. And I don't want you to tell me I have to still be doing that a month from now. And I don't want to feel guilty about not doing it a month from now.
Yeah.
So I'm not just thinking about how it's going to make me feel right now. It's like, what's the likelihood that I actually am going to see this through and really make it into a practice? And again, that's overthinking. That's me controlling. Those are all those like programming things we talk about all the time. But like, that is a very legitimate thing I have to consider.
Yes, and
if I want to try something.
It's indicative of the societal programming.
Right.
That there's something wrong with an ADHD brain.
Right.
Because the myth of neurotypicalness is like you're supposed to learn like this. And your brain is supposed to function like this. And if it doesn't, you're stupid, or you're lazy, or you're unmotivated, or you lack something.
Discipline.
Or you're imbalanced, or discipline,
but
whatever.
But if you have Right, exactly. So it's that patriarchal idea that if you have some sort of habit or practice around something, then
Yes.
it's disciplined. It's every day. It's regimented.
Yes.
And my brain might not need to journal every day.
Right.
My brain doesn't need to meditate every day. My brain doesn't need to do X, Y, and Z. It might just need to do it weekly or monthly. Yours might need to do it every day.
Exactly.
Mine might not.
Right.
That's why it's important to know what your brain and your body's doing, because I can't meet those expectations.
No, and the thing about, I love ADHD brains. I feel like most of the people that I am closest to are people with ADHD. I really do think there's like a beautiful balance to an autistic person and an ADHD person's relationship.
Right.
And so one of the things that I notice is that an ADHD brain has the ability to ungroup things in this like incredible way that makes them learn faster. It makes them shift through problems and blocks and vows faster. It really, they're able to like receive more information separately in a way that is incredible to watch and very, very beneficial if they understand how to use it. But that same ungrouping, that helps them learn fast, that helps them just take on something and gain a skill or move through something faster than other people, makes it hard. So like if you say to me, meditate in my brain is one command that I go and I do.
Yeah, no.
But if I say meditate to someone with an ADHD brain, that ungrouping has happened. So it's quiet, it's breathe, it's think, it's like every single thing is separate. Yeah. And it's not in a group. Right. It's ungrouped. Right. And so they experience it so much more. Their probably mindfulness is, if you're talking about presence, is probably way more heightened than a brain like mine. But you're asking them the wrong thing. You're putting them in the wrong container. And that's why demand avoidance, I'm not saying it's not natural to a brain, but it's why it kicks in, because its whole life, the brain's been told to do it this way.
Right. It's not how we operate.
And you know you're not going to have optimal results. You're not going to live up to what other people want. You've had a million experiences where someone said, no, you should do it this way, and made you feel shame for not.
Right. It's not even going to live up to how I want. Like, I'm not even going to get the results I want from it.
Yes, it's not going to be a good experience. Right, so there's the point is, to this long rant, there's no mindfulness in that.
No.
If you're not allowing space for demand avoidance, then you're not being mindful.
No.
If you're pretending it's not happening, if you're pushing yourself through it, if you're shaming yourself for it, none of that is mindfulness. Correct. But going like you just did, well, the first thing is going to happen is I'm going to experience demand avoidance.
Right.
That's mindfulness.
Right.
Because then you can go, what do I need to still achieve what I want, despite the fact that, or not despite, but like with demand avoidance, what does that inform me of? Right.
And when you start to hear that programming in your mind, and you hear like, well, I'm not gonna be able to do this every day. I'm not gonna be able to do this for the next month. And rather than just quitting, which is what I would have done years ago, I would have been like, well, fuck it, I won't try it.
It's too much. Right. Exactly.
Right. Now I would be like, okay, well, why don't we just try it for one day? If we like it, we'll try it again.
We'll see how it goes each day and decide if we want to grab that tool or not.
Try it for 5 days. And if you can hit it 5 days, maybe try it again.
Yeah, exactly.
But managing your own expectations of yourself and your intuition and your brain is really important.
Yes. And again, demand avoidance is not you being like, I don't want to do it. No. It's like, hey, there's a lot attached to this for me.
Exactly.
That now everything you say, I have to adjust to work for me. And that's a lot of work.
Yeah. And now I have to work around my own demand avoidance. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like I find myself doing that at work. It's like, oh, that's been triggered. How do I like sort of backdoor this?
Yeah.
To get myself to do this thing, because my demand avoidance has like dropped the wall.
Yeah.
And now I have to find a way to like circumvent it, because I know I got to get this task done.
Right.
And it's not really life-threatening. My brain thinks it is.
Of course.
So how do I reroute this? And
I
mean, once you're aware of things like that, though, then it's easier to manage it.
But if you weren't mindful of the fact that, the demand avoidance has been triggered,
correct,
then you would just enter a shame spiral and not actually achieve what you wanted.
Right. Exactly.
So it doesn't really benefit anyone.
No, and it is mindful to know like when the wall has come down and like the system is shutting down. Like that's being mindful.
Yeah. Exactly. What else would you say would be in your resistance list? I mean, that's a pretty good one.
I mean, I think it's just that. I think it's the demand avoidance, all the things that come with it. Yeah. And then that sort of commitment phobia piece that I can feel shutting the whole thing down and managing that.
If I was to pick a word for both of us, mine would be control and yours would be management, which I know are very similar. But like, I think you are, as soon as you're being told to do something, you are signing on the dotted line that you're going to manage a lot internally.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I think that that's the commitment.
Yeah, it's important for me to show up. So if I'm committing to something, it's important that I do that and I do a really good job of it forever. Unfortunately, my brain thinks that means forever.
Right.
You know, that's why so many people who have ADHD are not reliable, aren't people who show up for you. It's because they have not figured out all of those steps that are involved in getting like around that. So it's easier to just be like, no, I'm not doing that. Don't count on me for that.
Yes.
Because like, I can't see this through forever. Whereas like my ADHD archetype is like, oh no, I will do this thing for you forever as like the martyr of it. Yeah. Like the people pleasing martyr. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's like different not ADHD people aren't all the same. Like there's different types of us. And like, I'm like the eldest daughter ADHD.
You sure
you
are.
know?
Yeah. The hypervigilant one.
Correct.
100%.
Right.
And that's why everything is so important to define.
Exactly.
Because why do you want to be mindful is an incredible question. Because if you want to be mindful to have like a better experience through your life, then like if that means you're not acknowledging your ADHD and your demand avoidance and you're shaming yourself for it, you have not achieved that.
Right.
Maybe you meditated for an hour that day, but like you still didn't achieve mindfulness. Like that didn't really work. Right. That's not an effective tool.
Exactly.
So that's why this is so important.
Right. And that's why like the work in quotes.
Yeah.
What we always talk about, that's the work.
Yeah.
Is knowing your body and your brain and your system, your nervous system, knowing all of these parts of yourself so that you can do what's best for your system.
Exactly. Do you want to know, I was like going back and forth in my head of whether or not to share this.
Oh.
Do you want to know what one of my favorite tools for like seeing where someone is in their mindfulness / like doing the work journey? It's a tool you hate.
Oh, great.
You despise.
Lovely.
You hate it so much. Well, you like to probably observe it, but you don't like to participate in it.
What?
When you ask somebody like a icebreaker question that they're not expecting, that's kind of weird. But it's such a good litmus test because there'll be some people who completely panic and shut down and they can't do it. They're just like, no. You dread it, but you nail it. Okay. But like watching someone navigate it, think, and like you have to, in a very quick moment, think about maybe what the expectation is for how you answer this strange question, right? Like, would you rather have someone step on your toe or slap you across the face? Like, I'm just saying, I just made that up right now. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, things that like seemingly don't mean anything, but if I'm asking them, I'm gleaning so much information from what you're going to say.
Something.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So, but it's not so much your answer, it's what you do when faced with such a question.
Agreed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the people who like get rattled for a second, pull themselves together, take a deep breath and come up with something are people who have practiced mindfulness.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't care if your answer is shit.
Yeah, that you can like lock in that moment.
Yeah, but then you see the people who are like apologizing for themselves and like trying to, oh my God, this is going to be, I don't know. And they're like talking around it or doing a dance around it or trying to say an answer that they think is correct. There's no correct answer. Right, exactly.
The answer that you want.
It's why that famous interview question, you know, where people are like, what are your weaknesses? And people talk about, it's like the person interviewing you doesn't really care what you say. They're looking at how you manage being asked that. Right, yeah, exactly. So honestly, like weird icebreaker questions like that, the way you answer them is like the quickest indicator to me of where you are in your mindfulness journey. I don't care how often you go to yoga and meditate. I want to see how you answer an icebreaker.
Exactly.
It's going to tell me a lot about you.
Because like you said, mindfulness is a state.
Yes.
So if you can lock into that state
and call it in,
being present, being aware of what's happening around you, managing all the thoughts that are coming in, right? It's like a real like on the spot hot seat version of meditating. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree.
So anyways, Jamie hates an icebreaker question. I love one. I can't wait because I know I'm good at mindfulness and I know I'm good at state and I can pull something up and I can say something in a way because I've been analyzing you the whole time before you ask the question. So I'm ready. So I like it. And then I like observing everyone in the room. I don't care that much about mine.
Yeah, exactly. But that's why I don't like it. It's not my moment that I don't like.
Yeah.
It's everyone else's moment.
Yeah.
That like watching everyone. And
you get that like secondhand embarrassment thing.
Yeah. Like, oh Lord, look at everyone suffering.
So Jamie's cringing and I'm like,
exactly.
I'm like salivating and I'm like, ooh, I'm learning so much secrets.
I'm like, oh God, save everybody in this room.
Yeah. It's like the thing.
Pull the fire alarm.
This is a pro tip for everyone. If you have an intuitive person in your life, just know if you ask us, oh, I had this crazy dream, and you tell us, you just told us so much shit about yourself that you don't even know. And I
love it.
I mean, it's mostly like you or Matt who would ask me, and I can just tell you the real answers. But like, sometimes it's like people I don't know well. And I'm just like trying to figure out how to answer it without freaking them the fuck out.
Yeah.
You just told me so much about your inner psyche. You probably accidentally told me something about your marriage. You probably accidentally told me something about how you view your own body. You probably accidentally told me you hate your job. Like you
100%.
Don't.
Someone just did that to me at work the other day. And I was like, oh, so you feel X, Y, and Z? And she looked at me like, what? And I just smiled at her and she was like, holy shit. She literally went, holy shit.
Yeah. If you ask me and I say, oh, I actually don't know what this part means, but I do know this part. That's a lie. I do know what that part means. I just don't want to tell you.
Yes, exactly.
Or if I don't know, I could easily look it up. I have an idea and I would confirm it. If I say, I shouldn't tell people this. If I'm like, I'm not sure about that part, but this part.
Yeah,
I'm bait and switching you to not look over there. Look
this is where you need to do the work. Exactly.
We're not getting into that right now because you don't want to talk about that with me. Yeah, exactly. Just to keep that in mind.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
This one we sort of touched upon, but I think it's worth repeating is like know your clairs and incorporate your clairs into your mindfulness practice.
Always.
So the clairs are clairvoyance, clairaudience, claircognizance, clairtangency, clairsentience, clairgustance, and clairalience. We have episodes on all those if you would like more information. We have one on all of them, and then we break them all up so that you can really dive deep into them. Knowing your strongest ones are important, but it is not just about continuing to strengthen those. It's about strengthening the others to support those as well.
Yep.
But even if you're somebody who like the clairs make you squidgy, which I don't think you'd be on this podcast if that was the case, but what's your learning style? Are you a visual learner? Are you an audio learner? Like you have to do it to learn it. Like these things are going to inform you of how your mindfulness practice needs to be adjusted or what needs to be incorporated in it.
Yep.
Okay. How do I feel and how do I want to feel? Without asking that question, you're not doing mindfulness.
Correct. You're not being intuitive either.
Yeah. Just because you can like quote unquote make your mind quiet, just because you can feel really present in a moment, those are like maybe pieces of mindfulness, but that's not why you're trying to be mindful.
Right.
Like you don't win a prize. Like people aren't like, oh, you're the most mindful person in the world. Here's $1 million. Like that's not a thing.
No, that's capitalism.
It's not a competition.
Right.
Yeah. But also, what am I fearing and what do I have a lot of resistance around and how does that inform me? Those two questions I know are the basis of everything that I do.
Right.
But they are mindfulness.
Yeah.
There's no mindfulness without those questions.
No,
if you don't have those answered, you are not going to get anywhere that feels good.
Nope.
Okay. Work on being an observer of your own thoughts and feelings. Create that space. So this is something that I want you to sort of put in that same category that we were talking about of like motivation or happiness. You don't just get it once. You're not just like, oh, boom.
Right.
I want to observe my thoughts and feel. You gotta work on it. So being like, I want to be more observant. I feel like you and I are both very good at this, but we've been working on this our whole entire lives. And our original motivation for having that space was to control how we reacted so that we could people please.
Correct.
Okay. So we built this skill on like a real shaky foundation. And so we worked.
And we went back.
Yeah. We worked to like
Right.
reestablish why we're
Right.
doing that. Okay.
Yes.
But sometimes the old stuff
I mean, the
comes
skills
back.
are still there. You have to reassess the motivations.
Yeah. It's like a recalibration
Right.
for the motivation.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that space though is everything, because how often do you observe somebody who just speaks without thinking or flips out and I just think like you just needed that space for a second. You
Right.
just needed that breath
Yes, exactly.
to just think
Right.
about your move. But all you did was react from a place of like emotional insecurity.
Yeah.
And that's okay. We all have those moments. I
Right.
have them. You have it. Like
Yeah.
it's not a perfection thing, but it's like your goal is to have that space so that you can do those adjustments. You can do that navigating, right? If someone's being a jerk to you, if you can go like, hold on, how could I take back this situation and not just start screaming?
Not just react.
Yeah.
Right. That's mindfulness.
That's
And it's not a 50-minute meditation.
No,
it's a 5-second recalibration.
it's not like the earthy, crunchy, like
Right.
aesthetic version of mindfulness, but it's like the actual useful version.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Learn to take that part of your brain that likes to judge stuff and make it an analyzer instead. Okay. So your brain is wired to observe human behavior, but it doesn't have to be judging people for it.
Correct.
It can be analyzing people for it. Okay. It can be going like, that man is very insecure and loud. And instead of being like, I'm going to judge him for it, I can go, you can if you want.
Yeah.
But what might be more useful is to go, I'm going to avoid him. That's not someone I'm going to spend time talking to or who I want to work for or whatever.
Yeah.
That's more useful. I'm not saying to like shame yourself if you think like, oh, he's an idiot.
Right.
Fine. But like, that's where people stop.
Exactly. Don't stop there.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Keep
So
going.
use it for that
Yes.
instead. Okay.
Right. Good point.
Find the tools that work for you. There's a lot, not just meditation. Breath work is a really cool tool, especially if visualization is like really not your thing. Focusing on your breath is a great tool to try. Having a mantra, saying something, physical actions, like I
like
know
a
somebody
Tai Chi practice or something like that.
I know somebody who, when they get dysregulated, they go into another room and they jump on a trampoline.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's a great sensory
Input,
output, whole thing.
Yep.
And that's mindfulness if you know to do that for yourself. And then what happens that makes mindfulness more challenging for you? So if I'm my simple answer to that is other people being around, because I am so intuitively curious about all the people around me that I could easily, if you're like, let's go to a class, we're gonna meditate or do breath work or whatever, and like create that space in your brain. I'm going to do that. But if there's people around me, I'm going to be like, I wonder what their deal is. And then I'm going to pick up something about them. And I'm going to pick up something about, and then it's just going to keep going. Or like someone in the room is going to be trying to like take all the attention and it's going to start to bother me. And I'm going to start to like create a plan around it. And I'm like analyzing that. Like, do you know what I mean? Like this whole thing's going to happen. And then the end of the class comes and I'm like, I didn't do any of my own work.
Right, exactly. Right, exactly. Lost it.
So I know that. So I know if I'm going into doing it with other people around that I'm going to do different things energetically. I'm going to pick where I sit, very purposefully. I'm going to do a bunch of stuff like that. But you need to know that and not consider that to be like a weakness.
Right.
It's just what your system needs to operate. How about you? What kind of gets in the way for you if you're like going to like a mindfulness class?
I think I have issues around like being perceived. So again, like where I sit, like how much I actually want to commit to participating in something. What like, am I really committed to this? How much do I want to get out of this?
Yeah.
I paid for this. I'm here. I showed up. Are you going to let other people?
Yeah. Like managing your expectations of what's going to happen. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And trying to sort of reframe the purpose of being there for myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think stuff like that.
Yeah, that all makes sense.
Yeah.
Another thing that I know, and what I just described and what you just described is both a form of this, is that in doing anything mindful, I'm going to fall too far to the hypervigilance side and going to need to reel myself back a little bit.
Right.
And having tools to do that before I'm in the situation is the key.
Yep.
Because once it starts, once I start
It's hard to come
going,
back. Yep. Real hard.
it's almost impossible.
Yeah.
And if my ego has like found a threat that it finds really viable, which logically is most likely not at all.
Right.
But it's decided.
Yeah.
The hypervigilance kicks in. And if I'm mindful enough to catch it happening, we have a good chance of turning back.
Right.
Okay. But if I've been doing it for like 10 minutes before I become aware, we're going to have to really adjust our expectations of our ability to not be as hypervigilant.
Yep.
But in both of those scenarios, you're being mindful.
Exactly.
Even if you ended up being too hypervigilant. Like,
yeah, exactly.
You still did it.
You still practiced.
Still did the thing. Right. It's not about achieving the, perfection. It's about when you go too far in a direction and you're out of balance.
Come back.
To have tools to like start to reel it back.
Yep.
Okay. I really just think the whole theme of these 2 episodes is like know yourself so you can be empowered in like operating optimally in the way you operate optimally, not the way someone else does or told you to or any of that.
Yep.
Maybe that is what mindfulness is.
Exactly.
So,
right.
How do you operate and how much space do you allow for yourself to operate that way?
Right.
Yeah. Well, I'm really mindful that I need some more coffee.
Yep.
So I think we should go get that.
All right.
All right, let's do it.
Hey everyone, Heather and I have an ask for you. If you love this episode or if you love the IGG, can you do us a favor? We need you to go onto whatever platform you listen on and download, subscribe, like, love, whatever it's asking you to do. Can you go do those things for us on the platforms that you listen on? It would mean so much to us.
Thanks for listening to our episode. For a way to get in touch with us, please visit our website, intuitivegirlsguide.com. We love hearing your feedback on our episodes.